Malayali audience, it is a little different. That's precisely why we kind of came here to do this. Ritesh is half Malayali, so he has his family and relatives here. So he got through to Ranjita, who's actually translated the script into Malayalam. Got a lovely bunch of line producers. We had some ideas about who we want, so we asked them to reach out to someone like, for example, Suraj. He's a brilliant editor.
You have worked on bigger, larger projects, and here you don't have a star, backing per se, but you have a strong content. You have clarity and confidence. What was the strong point that gave you the strength to proceed and start and proceed and finish?
For some reason, never had any doubt. If it would have been, if I would have been doing the same film uh, in a different language, I would probably be more wary and think through a lot of things. I believe in the audience. We've gotten support from all kinds of people, everyone we've met or whoever's been, whether it's the film chamber, whether it's the producers association, the distribution networks, uh, people who kind of just came to help us. So yeah, very like I'm I've been saying this more than often, but I'm very happy with however whatever has transpired and wherever it's leading to. So more than happy.
We have Darpan Trisal. He is the founder of Dashboard Entertainment and Dashboard Incorporated, and he has come to Kerala with his film The Ride. Welcome, Darpanji.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
Very nice. So I would like to know how Kerala is receiving you, but how the film is being received.
It's being received very well. We've got some brilliant reviews, feedback, and generally, while meeting people who've seen the film, interacting with them, we had this, when we released the film, we thought it would probably appeal to a certain section of people, uh, probably the youth and, more men between 19 to 50, 55 kind of a demographic. But strangely, what we saw was there were a lot of family audiences, especially women, who were unanimously praising the film, and a lot of them got emotional. I saw a lot of women crying in the theaters, and that was uh, pretty overwhelming in that sense of the word. We did not think that it would kind of get into that section of the population and received so well by them. Yeah, it's overall. I'm sure you've seen the reviews as well. People have received it very well. Yeah, it's a different take on a thriller per se, irrespective of the language or whatever. Even for the Malayali audience, it is a little different. That's precisely why we kind of came here to do this, because it's the most accepting audience that I know of across the board. So yeah, it's very happy with the response.
Superb. I'm also thrilled to listen to this because you have producers from different parts of the country, especially from the north, like Kashmir, Punjab, Bangalore, Mumbai. So, how did you start with this idea? Like, let's do a Malayalam film.
See, I've always been pretty hooked on to Malayalam cinema for a long time since I was a kid, and since I got into of making films and getting to kind of work on scripts, different kinds of scripts. So there was always this thought at the back of my head that I would want to produce, a film in Malayalam. It's been a dream, and it kind of suddenly happened. It just fell into my lap, so to say. Uh, Suhas Shetty, the writer, He's an old friend of mine. We're working on other projects as well. Suddenly, one day, he, along with Ritesh, our director, who he has been old friends with, and they worked on a Hindi film called Crazy Cooked Family, which was produced by Mr. Prakash Jha. So they were thinking of doing something quickly, which would have like a quick turnaround, not a big budget film, and uh, just put the pieces together. And it was basically, the script was initially written in English, and they were contemplating what to do in terms of course, the first, because we're all based out of Mumbai, so their thought at that point, I wasn't involved. They thought that we'll make a Hindi film, and somehow, while they were kind of brewing over the idea, they suddenly, somebody out of them sprang up this idea: why don't we do this in Malayalam? And so they were very happy about that idea. So then they reached out to me. They said, this is one film story that we want to make. Would you be interested? I heard the narration, and then I liked it. And the next question was, would you want to? We want to do it in Malayalam. Would you be interested? I said yes. Of course. I mean, then I had no. I didn't have any qualms about doing that. I just got on board. I said, let's get on board. So that's kind of how it started. Then we started reaching out to people in Kerala, people we know, since Ritesh is half Malayali, so he has his family and relatives here. So he got through to Ranjita, who's actually translated the script into Malayalam. It kind of sprang from there, and then we got into it, started meeting people, got a lovely bunch of line producers who helped us along the way with everything, right from meeting the cast, crew. We had some ideas about who we want, so we asked them to reach out to someone like, for example, Suraj. He's a brilliant editor, and this is precisely the kind of films he's well adapted to in that sense. Of course, he's won the award as well this year for Kishkinda Kandam, which was obviously at that point in time we didn't know that would also happen. So yeah, then since Ritesh himself has been Santosh Sivansar's associate for 11 years, so he by default had some ideas in terms of who he would want to you know do the camera work, who would be the cinematographer for this. And I kept insisting on Tasaddu. I said, you just speak to him once. He said, he used to kind of keep delaying that. Yeah, yeah, I will. Yeah, I will. I have this guy in mind. I have this guy in mind. But, so along the way, he finally decided to connect with Tasaddu, and they hit it off in the first instance. It was uh, a telephonic conversation where he took him through what he was envisioning in terms of, how he's looking at the scenes and how the story unfolds, his vision primarily, and how he thought uh, this should kind of come around. And this guy was taking notes all the time, which was very surprising for him, because by the time he finished narrating the story to him, that guy had visualized the entire thing over a phone call. So yeah, that's how it kind of came together. So as far as the rest of the team is concerned, of course the actors are all of them are brilliant actors, and we've seen them in a lot of films, uh, whether it's Srikanji or Prashant, Sudhi Kopa, uh, Harish. We've seen him in Tamil and Telugu films more often. Then Anne, Sheetal, Gopika. It's literally a debut film as a. Even though she's done a film in Hindi, but this is primarily her Malayalam debut. And all of them, Malaji, she was actually she has been a solid part of this getting together of people from the beginning because she was actually the first actor that we reached out to, and like halfway through she said yes, I'm doing. She was during the narration she actually cried, and she said I'm doing this period. And
ഈ സിനിമയുടെ കഥ കേട്ടപ്പോൾ തൊട്ട് ഈ സിനിമ വിജയിക്കണം എന്നുള്ളൊരു പ്രാർത്ഥനയാണ് മനസ്സിലുണ്ടായിരുന്നത്. അത്രയും നല്ല മനുഷ്യരാണ് നമ്മുടെ സിനിമ നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിൽ പ്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട്. നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിലെ പ്രത്യേകതകളെല്ലാം മനസ്സിലാക്കി നമുക്ക് നല്ലൊരു കഥ പറയാം, വേറെ ജാതി മതം രാഷ്ട്രീയം ഇതിന് ഇടപെടലുണ്ടാവില്ല എന്ന് വെച്ച് നമ്മുടെ നാട് വിശ്വസിച്ച് വന്ന ഒരു കൂട്ടം മനുഷ്യരാണ്. അവരെ നിങ്ങളെ ഏറ്റെടുക്കണമെന്ന് വിനീതമായിട്ട് അഭ്യർത്ഥിക്കുകയാണ്.
then she also suggested a few names, so kind of came around. We spoke to a lot of people, but I think what we have now is it couldn't have been better. Brilliant actors, every single one of them. Uh, Very difficult to find a flaw in when you see them on screen. Specifically, this. I mean, they're brilliant actors by default. Uh, but what they've come out with, when you see them, you literally believe that these are those characters. There's no acting per se. It's like they were very, very natural in how, and most of the things they improvised on, which was brilliant because considering that even our director is not very fluent in the language, as simple as that. Very, very nice experience.
Very true about the actors, and I was, I was so impressed by the way things were carrying, and especially towards the climax, we were so thrilled.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, even the very experienced directors in Malayalam also find it difficult to communicate and get things out from the, extracted from the. And here, with a bunch of actors who have not mostly worked together, except for a couple of them, it's really wonderful that the director who is half Malayali and the team like Babaji. I was wondering how he would have got the communication and got it extracted from the people. So it's really wonderful, in fact.
In terms of the connect between everybody, it was very beautiful. I've been in this industry for like 3 decades now. I've been producing ad films. I've worked on a few films. I set up my last decently big film was a film called Torbas with Mr. Sanjay Dutt in the lead. It was released during COVID, so it didn't come in the theaters. It's on Netflix. No, it's very difficult to find a unit where everyone, whether it's the actors or the technical crew or the production boys or anybody and everybody, every one of them was cohesively working towards making everyone else feel like they know each other and it happened, there was no effort to do that. Like one of my production boys, Irfan, he keeps in touch with me on almost a daily basis. So similarly with everyone else, the actors were brilliant. The day we finished the shoot, we had an after party after that, and the entire crew was there, including the actors. They were, dancing on the stage. They were singing some songs on the mic, and you rarely get to even. They were quite taken aback because it was unlike a regular film set where you come, you rehearse your parts, you shoot, and you go away. And every single day or every other day, we would come together, have go out for coffee. We went to watch films together. Then we went out for an excursion after watching a film to this place where you have these, where the water is luminous at nights.
Kumblangi.
Yes. That was a brilliant experience. We went kayaking with the actors and some of the crew, whoever wanted to kind of join in. So yeah, it was it was more than making a film. It was an experience that you very rarely have, with people coming together for the first time, and from all walks of life and all across the country. So yeah, it was very, very phenomenal.
No, I was thinking about this when you were talking about the connecting part, like Srikant. If you talk to him for 5 minutes, you'll get energized for a year. So he's very inclusive. He doesn't have believe in hierarchy. He holds everyone.
Absolutely,
So yeah,
absolutely.
because you have worked on bigger, larger projects, and here you don't have a star, backing per se, but you have a strong content, you have clarity and confidence within you and with the team. But still, there will be some doubt within your mind. No? You're experimenting something new in Malayalam, and how will the receptiveness be? How will you execute these things? So, what was the strong point that gave you the strength to proceed and start and proceed and finish?
I, for some reason, never had any doubt. If I would have been doing the same film uh, in a different language, I would probably be more wary and think through a lot of things. With this set, I just blindly jumped into it. I was very confident of the fact that, uh, irrespective of the language barrier and being a new entrant into this uh, region as a filmmaker, I believe in the audience. The Malayali audience is more receptive than any audience. And I'm not saying that we made the finest film ever or something like that, but it's an honest effort, and it could not have gotten justice anywhere else. It's as plain and simple as that. I don't see it happening uh, anywhere else as a first film, it's very difficult to even imagine that. It's like, so I have so many examples from Malayalam cinema, which if you take to any other language, the producers, the actors, they would just throw the script away and say, "Are you mad? How can you even think about doing a film like that?" I can tell you examples of films like Trance, films like uh, Android Kunjappan. These are films you would not imagine anybody else. Specifically, I mean, I come from the Hindi film industry, but I would be laughed at if I had taken that subject to anybody there. Sadly, but yeah, that's how it is. So that's what gave me the confidence of, whatever you see. I don't know what will happen with the film. It's up to the audience at the end of the day. But yeah, it was a very humble and honest, uh, coming together of minds and people. And yeah, that's it. That's precisely why I have, seriously speaking, I'm not even slightly bothered about the outcome. I'm very happy with however it's turned out. Of course, the more support we get from the audience, the better for us, because I want to do more films in, Malayalam rather than any other language.
Usually what happens is that in spite of the very good content, in spite of having star, you have a very good distribution network, still many films do not reach the part of it. You have already said, like, it all depends on the audience and how it is being received. But what do you think worked with the ride, as well as I'm combining this because you have already answered part of it in the previous question. So, and what were the challenges? Like, because one of the things I can imagine is you are releasing the film along with a big star movie. Still people are receiving this film. So I would like to know what worked and what were the challenges.
Obviously, when you're releasing a film as a small film, first time uh, filmmakers, as far as this particular region is concerned, with a stalwart like Mamuka. And obviously, I mean, obviously, the what uh, happened was we thought of releasing the film earlier, but then there were a lot of films happening, and generally, what you do is you tend to kind of stay away from bigger films because it's a very small film and it doesn't have that kind of a star power to pull the audience in. So it's primarily the content that can do that. And uh, now, finally, when we thought of releasing and froze the date, also by the dint of being a very small film, we had limited budgets to work around, and even though we kind of overstepped our budgets quite to a decent extent. But then when Mamuka's film got pushed to the same date as ours, a lot of people told us you push it. But then what happens is you can't keep doing that because every week there will be a film, and well, probably two films which are way bigger with, like you have Mamuga's film, then you might have Lal Sir's film, you might have somebody else's film. Films are supposed to release in the theaters, and people are supposed to go and watch them. So irrespective of the size of the film. So that is why we thought that, I mean, obviously we can't compete, and we knew that uh, it's a mammoth task, even if we get some bits of people coming in just because it's a decent movie. Uh, so yeah, the challenge, those were the primary challenges. Otherwise, it's been smooth sailing. Everybody has been very accepting in that sense. We've gotten support from all kinds of people, everyone we've met or whoever's been, whether it's the film chamber, whether it's the producers association, the distribution networks, uh, people who kind of just came to help us. So yeah, very like I'm I've been saying this more than often, but I'm very happy with however whatever has transpired and wherever it's leading to. So more than happy then.
Usually, producers are kind of invisible, like because the execution is happening of the filmmaking is happening with the people in the forefront. You're very experienced, and you're you appreciate all sorts of movies. You from the producer side to make a Malayalam film, that's a different thing. What is your policy in short in filmmaking?
The kind of content, it's not restricted in terms of I want to do a specific genre of films or this language or that language. I am open to doing all kinds of cinema, and I also watch all kinds of. I love those big entertainers, with those all those big super stars of the country, every single one of them. It's just that how the a particular movie is put together. That's what kind of pulls me into that. Whether it's a film like Lucifer, or whether it's a film like Pushpa, or whether it's Bahubali, or whether it's any of those, even films like Durandar for that matter. Uh, it's just the craft of putting things together in a way that the audience likes it. You don't know the formula, nobody does. But it's just those kind of, like just to give you an example, Jailer 2, the teaser that was shown to us, it's not part of the film, but it blows you away. You want to see that film, period. There's no way that you will not want to go and see that film. And of course, with, when you have Rajni sir, by default, uh, the stakes are very high. So, and a lot of fans across the world who want to see films. So similarly, with me, I watch all kinds of films. Sometimes, so I don't. I watch films even without subtitles, and you still get the idea. I remember once I'd gone to a theater in Bombay to watch Rajni sir's film Shivaji the Boss. It had released. I didn't know that particular screen did not have subtitles. I went in. I saw the entire film without subtitles, and it didn't matter because you know exactly what is happening, and it's just that uh, so sometimes you have those kind of films, and then you have the so-called intelligent films where you're trying to. For me, it doesn't matter what kind of a film you're making. It's a film. It's supposed to entertain people. My only criteria, even before I got into films, I essentially had an event company, which is still exists. So my only problem with doing events over a period of time was everybody who wanted to do an event wanted to repeat something that had already happened. They're not wanting to do the same monotonous things every single day, go to a job from 9 to 5 or whatever, sorry. So that kind of is ingrained in me. So that's precisely why, even in terms of the kind of films I'm working on right now, there is a thriller which it's called Pehlu, Perspective. So the tagline is three sides to every story. So you see the same story from three different perspectives. So that is, one film. Then there is a zombie film that a friend of mine has written, and he'll be directing it. Uh, it's a very different take on zombies. And I would love to make that in Malayalam instead of any other language. So it's a film which has a superb take on zombies. Any zombie film and across the board. I'm not boasting, but uh, it's a head turner in terms of that specific genre. Then there is a Suhas and I are working on another script. It's called The Forgotten Spy. So it's a period film in that sense. It starts in 1948, leads up to 2015, and it primarily is uh, a coming together of actual events, conspiracy theories, and of course some fiction. So just to give you a brief insight, it's about the world of Indian National Army's spy wing, women's spy wing. So that is the area. So the script and everything is ready. So we'll start. Actually, we already narrated it to a lot of actors who've loved it, and we're also looking at some more. So yeah, that's in the works. Then, like I said, Pehlu, which I've had the honor of having Padma Shri M.M. Kiravani sir doing the music for that. S.S. Kanchi sir will be directing it, and yeah, so all kinds of stuff, good stuff in the pipeline.
You answered my next question now as well, like, what are the things in the pipeline, even though you just briefly hinted on Kanchi sir's, Kirwani, when we, had a quick catch up after the movie.
Yeah.
And this speaks really what my question about the policy, your as a producer, that experiment, the mindset to experiment, and what's new, what more I can do, and that's very inspiring. In fact, I call my conversation as conversations that inspire. So this is very inspiring for me, and I hope the audience will also get inspired with this kind of and that mindset is something quite, talking to you, it's kind of contagious. Mm, so um uh, so for a director who is approaching you to make a movie, what should he understand about you, to see things work?
I think I'm even though a lot of people think that I'm, kind of, see, basically, I'm a guy who's mostly behind the scenes. You rarely get to see me, you know. But yeah, I'm hands-on in terms of when I want to work on a subject. I would want to understand it from the writer's perspective more than the director's vision. That comes in later. Unless, of course, the director's only written, then of course, uh, because what happens most of the times is there are lots of brilliant scripts. When you read them, you go through them, maybe the screenplays are absolutely wonderful. But when they're translated onto the screen, they don't come across the same way as you perceive them or visualize them in your mind or thought about it. So that you get to know once you sit with the director and understand how he's thinking through these things. And I'm not an expert at understanding that. Otherwise, I would have been directing. Uh, but as somebody who watches a lot of films and loves to watch films, irrespective of the genre, irrespective of how the world perceives it, I watch some films which people say are, it's like faltu film, don't watch it types. I still watch them. And there are certain films I don't even bother to, even if they're, have a brilliant star cast, great actors or so-called stars or whatever. I don't bother to watch those films. But it's just an instinct that works for me. But sometimes there are films which have a lot of flaws, but you can't but not like them. Great example is Andaz Apna Apna. So many continuity jerks. You see, the actors changing appearance every other scene because it's been shot over a period of time. Sometimes their hair is long, sometimes, but you can't not watch that film, and you can watch it every single time, and you can watch it from anywhere to anywhere and feel happy. Ah, nice. So those kind of films also I don't have a problem with. I love them. I love them.
You have found the ride is being accepted, so you are anyway making another film in Malayalam. So you might also be recommending other producers who have worked with you to do something in Malayalam probably. If so, what would you be recommending? Like make a small budget movie, test waters, and try something big, or try a star cast one. So what would you be recommending for a Malayalam movie?
So if you personally ask me, I would ask them how deep their pockets are. So depending on, every film has a specific budget. So if your intention is to make a good film, depending on what the film needs, that's precisely what you should go through with. If a film uh, has a budget where you would need bigger actors to probably make sense of it, in terms of recovering your money and making a. It's not that you can't make the same film with actors, but you know how things work. Finally, everything that is on stake is on the producer's end, nobody else's. Everybody gets paid for whatever they do in a film, except for the producer. So, so if they have to take a chance with their money, I think they should do it as per uh, the requirement of of that particular film. If it's a small film, they should not go and get into maybe taking bigger actors just because they have the money. But if a script does not require big actors, you should not do that. There are brilliant actors across uh, the country. Forget about just a particular place. And nowadays, imagine Echo. Look at all those brilliant people from across. They're not all Malayali actors, but and the film is doing wonderfully well. I'm so happy, for a film which is not made on a huge budget and it's doing phenomenally well. So very happy about. So yeah, that's precisely what I would advise anyone who wants to make a film. I think it's the same formula for any film, for any language film rather. So if the budget requires a specific thing, then you should definitely do that. If it doesn't, you don't need to go overboard just to satisfy people or yourself. I've cast somebody who's big and whatever. If you can afford it, of course, I understand that. But sometimes you don't need to get into those things. But if a film requires those kind of people, you have a film that has that kind of budget, obviously, just even to uh, forget about making money, even to break even, you need somebody to hold your hand who's big enough to, sail through and make sure that you at least recover the money you put in.
I was expecting something like, if exhibitors were a little more supportive. But I should also appreciate your team, the cast, except for people who are working on other films who are busy now. But others, everyone is, putting their effort to see that, this is getting communicated because they are very confident about the work, they are confident about the movie, and they are talking about, and that's a good sign.
Yeah.
And they are doing it. So I like that thing which is happening now. As I'm observing from outside. But otherwise, say like if there was some support from the exhibitors or from the distribution team, do you think anything? Just I'm not saying, I'm not looking at it as a complaint or something, but as a corrective measure. If something had worked, so everyone gets that mileage on that. That is intention.
No, I think actually, even in terms of the distribution network, I don't uh, I don't think they could have done anything in the scenario in the current scenario because there's a big film releasing. Of course, they can do so much and not more, but they've been very supportive. We would have definitely liked better shows in terms of because sometimes what happens is specifically for a bigger film, even if you get a morning show, it's okay because people will go and see it. For a smaller film, what happens is because there are no, stars or big actors involved, or a big director, or a big producer, whatever the case may be. So very difficult to drive audiences in and it's very difficult for us to even pump in the kind of money for promoting and creating awareness about the film like a big film would do. So our reach is also in that sense limited to, I'm sure a lot of people still don't know about our film, within Kerala itself. So that is the only, but that is with a small film, you can't really complain about that. It's that is how it is. So if I had the money to pump in more for advertising and promotions and marketing, uh, then probably the budget of my film would also have been a little bigger. It's as simple as that. So yeah, but so no complaints. I'm very very grateful to even FIOC for all the support they've given us. They have tried in every way to, in fact, we're actually seeing the change in the last couple of days. Some of our short shows have been upgraded to evening shows. So obviously, I'm sure people are receiving those kind of, feedbacks from the audience or wherever, and there's some push from our distributors as well. So shows are getting better, which is uh, which is nice considering we're still uh, competing with not literally competing, but yeah, there are lots of films out there. Plus, of course, Mamuga's film.
That's right. In fact, and I'm also quite happy about that. As in, more shows are coming along with Kalankaval. It is being talked about. One thing which I thought was like the ride. Probably people are not sure whether it is a Malayalam movie. A few people are still confused as in because
Hmm.
they did not know that this is coming. This was quite the time between them to watch. I mean, see the advertisement and see the to digest. That was very short.
Correct. Correct.
I think so. But then now people are coming to know, and then there's a good word of mouth. So that seems to be working in a couple of weeks in the coming
Yeah.
quarters. Yeah.
We're hopeful.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Darpanji, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you
We'll
so much.
definitely catch up, after a couple of weeks when you see the,
Surely, surely.
it worked out really well, and we'll also talk about the upcoming movies. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.